Many of us, I think maybe all of us, hate going to the airport, right? Don't you dread all of the things you have to go through when you want to take a flight, going through security? Why do I have to throw away my sunscreen? Why am I taking off my belt? All of that stuff. It's not really that much of an enjoyable. It's that the future of airports, see them become much more seamless and efficient. And of course, airports are a critical cog in the economy, and they could end up becoming a place where we actually enjoy hanging out. Let's find out more. Rana Nawas joins us now, a partner in the transportation and services practice at Oliver Wyman. They've published a report called Evolution of Airports, and Rana was the lead partner on the report. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Elias. Thanks for having me.
So, I you know what? I seem to remember, like, as a child, a small child, I have a memory of going to the airport for fun. Like, I wasn't going to fly, but we were going to go hang out with our family member before their flight and have dinner, and we'd be right at the gate. That's what I remember. And now when I think about airports, it's the worst experience ever. Delays and security, I hate it. Why are you so positive about the future of airports?
Well, first, it's funny because I have a very similar experience to you. For me, my earliest memories of airports are very positive. You know, it used to be us coming back from the summer vacation and my father waiting above baggage handling, behind that glass screen, waiting to welcome us home. So it was a very positive, it was very romantic, but it's really deteriorated over time. And everything you say, I agree with. It is painful. But we are very optimistic, and the change is coming. It's driven by what we have found, 5 megatrends. So we've researched all different types of airports in every geography, all over the world. And we at Oliver Wyman, we believe that evolution of airports is being driven by 5 megatrends, and the net result will be a contactless, seamless, and I do believe enjoyable experience. And we are already seeing this happening in some airports. Like if you go to Changi, I mean, that's kind of the number one used as the gold standard. They have rope parks and people go for fun. I mean, it's a hangout. That model won't necessarily work everywhere. But still, I think for passengers who want that curb to cabin time short, you'll have that option. And in some airports that decide to diversify their revenues away from air transport, because airports were really hurt during COVID, like everyone and every business, but airports really, because they relied on air transport. And so some airports are looking at creating these aerotropolises, these entertainment centers, also as part of their resilience, economic resilience.
But how do you do it when there's such a concern about security at airports? So how do you make it seamless? And I'm wondering, are you getting to a sort of Big Brother-esque facial ID tracking in order for us to have that seamless experience?
If you want seamless, you're talking biometrics, and that's definitely something that people will have to make a decision on. If you want to go through that seamless, that fast track, that tunnel, I'm envisioning a walk-through tunnel, and we already have elements of this in the Dubai airport, where you will get to the airport and just walk through a tunnel that will check your immigration status and your security status, so you won't even have to stop on your way to the cabin, to the gate. So that's what the world is going to. What do we need to enable that? For sure, there's increase in regulation, right? We need the ability for airlines and airports to share data. We need regulating authorities in different countries to agree on immigration and customs processes and the processing of data. So data will be a big part of this. That means data privacy and cybersecurity are a big part of this, and also regulation. Yes, we believe it's not going to be easy, but there are a lot of input or a lot of drivers that are going to force us to get there.
Okay, let me throw a stat at you from July 6th of this year. Just a few days ago, we had 134,000 commercial flights, 10,000 private flights on that day. According to Flight Radar 24, the highest number of flights recorded in 24 hours since that site was created in 2007. So we need this, right? The amount of people flying, there's so much thirst for air travel. Is this necessary? Do we need this so that our airports don't become total chaos?
We absolutely do. I mean, we estimate that, in keeping with the stat you just shared, that the global commercial fleet of aircraft is going to increase by 33% by 2033. In the next 10 years, we're going to have a lot more aircraft flying. We have passenger growth estimated at 5.8% per annum for the next 17 years, but by 2040. And we think that in about 10 years, ICAO estimates that we'll have about 200,000 flights per day. So yes, these numbers are only going up. And airports will need to cope, and we will need to process people and aircraft movements faster.
Does this still mean all of the things that sound, like it will make it more seamless when you're just going down a corridor and they're scanning your face? Do I still have to throw away my sunscreen and remove my belt just to get on a plane? Is that still part of the plan?
No. So actually that's already been done away with in certain airports in the world. So the technology is already there. So Elias, let me just mention then the 5 megatrends that are driving this. So technological innovation, right? With tech innovation, we have the technology. The question is, when will it become more commercial, right? But we have the technology that you can keep your sunscreen and your laptop and your shoes and your belt, right? That technology already exists. Yeah. So within the next 10 years, we expect it to become more affordable for airports around the world, right? So tech innovation is a big one that involves the biometric facial recognition and all of that good stuff. The second one driving this is decarbonization. So the aviation industry came together and said, by 2050, we want to be a net zero carbon industry. And so there's a lot of work happening now on sustainable aviation fuels and on hydrogen to try to figure that out, and actually making airports themselves more efficient in terms of energy and water usage. So that's decarbonization. Another one is intermodality. So airports are going to become much better connected to the cities and the regions that they serve, whether by rail, eventually by urban air mobility. That's not until we think 2040. But we definitely see in the near to midterm, fewer and fewer passengers arriving by private car. So that's another thing, is the intermodality. The fourth megatrend that we see is the passenger expectations. The passenger now has shifted, because the airport customer traditionally has been the airline, right? It's the airline paying the airport's fees, the landing fees, et cetera. But airports are shifting. There's a big mindset change. And now the passenger is considered the customer. And the passenger expectation is really evolving. And we expect to have a personalized, customized, some days I get to the airport, I want to cut through fast. I should be able to do that. Some days I want to hang out and watch a movie beforehand. That would never be me personally, but someone someday. So that should be possible. But then the fifth megatrend driving the evolution of airports, which I think is very interesting, is the changing workforce. So now, as you look at our research, we've done a lot of research on Gen Z, and they want jobs that are hybrid, remote, if not remote, hybrid. Nobody wants a long commute for mediocre pay, for high stress. And so airports have to address that in the near term before the robots come.
Rana, I absolutely love the passion here. And you come back to this program because there's so much to talk about when it comes to airports in the future. And everyone just wants a better airport. I'm happy to hear perhaps some good news at the end of the day. Rana, thanks so much.
Thank you.
That's Rana Nawas, a partner in the transportation and services practice at Oliver Wyman. They recently published a report on the evolution of airports.